the talk of the town. You know who I am. My name is Karen Buechs, and I'm the host producer of the show. Tonight is a live broadcast. I've been away for a while. Went to visit my daughter in North Carolina. You think it's hot here? Go there. And you'll find out what hot really is. Tonight, I have a fabulous guest. He truly is wonderful. We've been talking here a half hour, and it seems like 3 minutes. He's a great person. Matter of fact, he's coming to my house for dinner. I want to introduce the Assistant Town Manager to Plymouth, Silvio Genao.
Nice to meet you, or not to meet you, but thank you for being in your show. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome here anytime, Silvio.
Thank you.
You know, I've been watching you. You know, I watched the selectmen's meeting, and I know what you go through. I know what you do, and I'm so happy you were hired as the assistant town manager. And
well, that makes two of us.
Yes, I am sure. Let's get a little bit of your background to introduce you to those that don't know you.
Absolutely. So again, my name is Silvio Genao, and I'm the Assistant Town Manager for the Town of Plymouth. I've worked for the Town of Plymouth twice before. My first foray into the town was in 2018. I was the Assistant DPW Director. Worked there for a little bit because that was my background. I'm an engineer by trade, a civil engineer. So I ended up coming into the town via the DPW, left for the town of Eastham, where I actually live right now, became the DPW director there for a number of years, almost 4 years, and then decided, you know what, I've had enough of DPW. I want to do something else. I like working with people. I like meeting people. I like helping people. And the opportunity to come back to Plymouth as the Human Resources Director came up. And I said, you know what, this is the change that I need in my life right now. I think I'd be a good fit. I spoke to my wife, and she says, yeah, of course. This is the type of stuff you like to do. I can see naturally how you would want to migrate to that. So I came back to Plymouth in my second tour of duty, what I call it. Yeah. And I was there for almost a couple of years. And then I said, well, the next step in my career is in management. So an opportunity closer to home came up. It was too good, or what appeared to be too good to pass up. So I took the opportunity, became the assistant town administrator for a very short while in the town of Wellfleet, which is next to Eastham. And then, you know, I stayed in touch with folks in Plymouth. Again, I made a lot of good relationships here. I have a lot of great co-workers. And as part of my transitioning out, I was still trying to help the town manager and the current HR director with hiring for my old position, the HR director. And as part of all of those conversations and trying to assist and help recruit, it just came up that maybe, you know, why don't you want to, what are you doing over there in Wellfleet? Why don't you just come back to Plymouth? And I said, you know, I can't say no to that. So I got my opportunity now to come back and eventually transition into the position that I'm in now, the assistant town manager, which again, I'm very grateful to be in.
Oh, and we're so happy to have you. Talk a little, what was it like? I know very little about HR. I know what they are supposed to do, but that's a very complex job.
Oh, absolutely. And I think a lot of folks really don't understand all of the little things that go into it, right? A lot of people say, well, you know, benefits, hiring, assisting employees when they're in need, but it's so much more than that. The town of Plymouth is self-insured when it comes to health insurance.
Right.
Most communities, like for example, all of the towns on Cape Cod, they're part of a regional group, and they have a regional group that does health insurance for all of the towns, negotiates all of that, comes up with all of the options. The town of Plymouth does that on its own. And that is a lot in part of what the HR department has to do. They work very well with the finance department to come up with not only good benefits for the town, but to manage those benefits. And that is a massive endeavor, I know. So that is, to me, one of the biggest things they do. But again, it's labor relations, which to me is very important, right? People have to want to come to work. So you got to not only be able to provide good benefits, but good leave packages, vacation, sick leave, things like that. So all of that runs through the HR department.
What do you think is better, the collaborative the Cape does or the way we do it?
I think every community finds what works for them. For the town of Plymouth, the being self-insured works really well. We're a very large community. We have the ability to do that. So it gives us the opportunity to negotiate things that work for us because we're a big client. We have a massive amount of employees, both on the town side and the school side. All put together, it's roughly 1,700 employees between the town and the school. So we are a big player in the insurance game, and a lot of insurance companies see us as a big whale that they want to catch. So being able to negotiate on our own allows us to, negotiate things that would work best for our staff.
Well, that's interesting. I bet the town gets a lot of phone calls from insurance people that say, come aboard. We can handle your...
That's part of what we do. We used to do in HR when I was there. It's a lot of calls. We provide these services. I know you might get dental from this company, but we provide this offer. And it's constantly trying to balance the things that would be best for our employees.
What does the employee say?
The employees, as far as I'm concerned, understand that we have one of the best health insurance packages out there. I've worked for 5 municipalities, and I am so proud of the fact that we offer the health insurance and overall benefits package that we offer here, because it's unparalleled to any other community that I've ever worked in. The first town that I've worked in, our contributions for health insurance were 50-50, meaning that the town pays for 50% of it and the employee pays for 50% of it. And I remember leaving that community and going to another community, and the split was different, was more beneficial to the employee, and I felt like I was getting an extra paycheck on top of what I was getting paid. So health insurance deductions in people's paychecks make a huge difference to their bottom line. So the fact that we've been able to work together with the unions here and all the other groups to ensure that we can provide the best health insurance and coverage for our employees is amazing. And again, it's a testament to the collaboration that we have in the town of Plymouth. Helps with recruitment, helps with retaining. It's one of our biggest assets for sure.
And who is the Human Resource Director now?
The Human Resources Director is Jacqueline Gurney. She used to be the Assistant Director when I was there. She's a veteran of the town, has been working for the town for 18 years.
Wow.
And I'm proud to say that she's held every single position in that department. Every single one.
Then she should know with inside and out.
Inside and out.
Yeah.
Inside and out. She's an insurance guru. She's a great person. She's easy to work with. She lives in town. She's very dedicated, and we're very lucky to have her really working as our HR director.
See, those are the people we don't see.
Exactly.
They work diligently behind the scenes, and all departments have that. The people that do all the grunt work, which, enable,
Absolutely.
everybody else to be a success. Citizens included.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's wonderful it's a great thing to have a good team. It's like the clerk we have here.
Oh my God.
Kelly.
Mm-hmm. Phenomenal. Phenomenal.
She is wonderful.
Yep.
Brought a lot of change to benefit the town.
Mm-hmm.
And tightened things up and made it more efficient, smooth running. She's got a great personality.
I mean, you can't ask for more.
Yeah.
She's a great human being, great co-worker, easy to work with, very motivated, always wants to help, patient, finds ways to, be of assistance, be above and beyond what she typically does. But one of the things that maybe a lot of folks don't know is she's very well respected in the town clerks community. She's very involved with the Town Clerks Association. And again, when I left for the town of Wellfleet, it was hysterical because one of the anecdotes I had for her when I came back is I told folks there that I came from Plymouth and I was working in Plymouth. And the town clerk immediately told me, it's like, oh, you work with Kelly. And I'm like, oh, I did. And she is, so I told her, I said, you're famous amongst your group of people. So she was like,
Yeah.
that's great to hear. No,
Yeah.
but she's phenomenal. All the staff is phenomenal. But to your point, we're such a large organization that's one of the challenges. There's a lot of people working in a lot of departments across a lot of different buildings. So it's not only getting their faces and their name out there so that people can recognize the work they do, it's explaining to people what they do, but it's also bringing them together.
It's a connection.
It's connecting the employees with themselves too. I've heard a lot of stories when I was in HR that even in town hall, sometimes new folks came in, got hired, and people in town hall saw people walking and they didn't know that was an employee. So that's one of the challenges that I had in HR, and then, you know, I want to work with the HR director in the future to bring everybody together. And I know she has a lot of great ideas and a lot of goals. So we're helping bolster that department now to make sure that we can provide those things in the future, provide that connection between our employees.
Well, that's like our town manager, who I totally respect. I personally feel he's the best town manager we've ever had. And he came in and had wonderful, wonderful ideas, and not just talking about them, implementing them, bringing the selectmen along with it too, and explaining it to them, and, you know, and they really respect him.
I mean, respect is earned, right? And he's a man of action, just like you said, but he's, maybe I'm, you know, putting him out there, putting this little secret out there, but he's got a big heart.
Yeah, I know.
He cares. He doesn't come into the job and sit on his desk and just, you know, it's clicking on his keyboard and everything. You can see the concern in his face when he's dealing with something that's important to the town. He takes it to heart, and he wants to make sure he does the best he can for the town. So I wouldn't work for anybody else. That's one of the reasons why I came back, because I believe in him myself.
Yeah.
I think the people who get to know him and get to work with him believe in him too. So he's a man of action. He's got great plans, but he also understands what will fit the community and what won't fit the community, and how to bring people together to make things happen. If you talk to him, he'll tell you all the time, well, these weren't my plans, or these weren't my ideas. We did this all together. And to work for a person like that is rare.
It is rare.
It is rare.
In business or in government.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he is rare. We're lucky to have him.
Mm-hmm.
I've sat with him on a committee. I've talked with him personally. I've gone and met with him. He doesn't exaggerate. He doesn't, you know,
He's a man of his word.
drama. There's no drama about him. He just is who he is, and he wants everybody to succeed. Because if everybody succeeds, he succeeds.
Exactly.
So, which brings me to you. Now your position. You're the assistant town administrator.
Town manager, yes.
Town manager, assistant town manager. It's a huge responsibility because you take on, tell the people what you do.
It's very simple. A matter of fact, I actually said it last night at the select board's meeting. My main role in town is to support the activities and the tasks of the town manager, support his goals. The town manager comes in, and he's a man of action, as we spoke to as well, but he's the man with the plan, is like I like to say.
The man of the plan.
The man with the plan.
Yeah.
And then my job is to be behind them saying, okay, this is the plan, and then give me the plan, and I help you implement it. I go to the department heads, I go to the division heads, I go to the staff, and I get everybody together so that we can get the job done that the town manager requires. That's basically my main job, is right there in the title. I say all the time, I assist the town manager in whatever he needs, whatever that may be. So that's the interesting part of my job, that it changes every day, and it changes from hour to hour, because what he'll need help with, or what the town needs help with, varies from hour to hour like that.
So the both of you dance very well.
Oh, yes. We're great dance partners. Great dance partners. I would like to believe it.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting from this, and I knew it anyway. But to sit and talk to you and hear your enthusiasm is quite refreshing.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, this is I tell people I have one speed, and this is it. This is the only speed I have. I'm always happy to be doing things, even on challenging days, because I pick people up when they're having a bad day, and people pick me up when I'm having a bad day. There hasn't been a day here that I felt like I've been by myself, or like I'm not part of a team, or like we're not struggling together, or we're not cheering each other on or working together. And that is the key to success to me for the town of Plymouth. As I said, I've worked for 4 other municipalities besides Plymouth. Some have their good things and their bad things in different way, but only Plymouth has this camaraderie that I've seen amongst the staff. Even when you're having a bad day, people, you can sit them down and say, let's talk person to person here, because I know I see something's going on. You can see something's going on with me. Let's figure it out. And that's the key to everything in life, is to be able to talk to another person respectfully, understanding each other, even when you disagree. So you can reach a compromise that works for everybody.
Yeah. Well, you try to reach a compromise, but some people undermine, and you know that happens, but you got to be aware of that.
Yeah. And that's some of the challenges of the job, but it's also a lot of folks, in my opinion, and this is just my personal approach to things, I want to get to the root of why that person or that group of people feels like they have to undermine things. Because it could be that they see things in a different way, right? They have a different approach. They want to see a different outcome. But at the end of the day, if we all want what's best for the town, we can take one road or another. But as long as we get to both to the same goal, it doesn't matter. So I try to focus on not the road that we're going to take, but the outcome that we want to achieve. So
you see the big picture.
That's exactly. For situations like that is, well, tell me why. I don't take it personal. I don't feel like people are doing that. If somebody wants to undermine a plan or anything, I don't feel like people are doing that because they don't like Silvio or anything like that. My job is my job, but I am who I am regardless of my job. My job is not my identity. It's a very important part of it, but it's not my identity. So I don't take it personal. So I'm able to, because of that, separate things, compartmentalize things, and sit down with folks and say, hey, listen, I understand that you did what you did and you're trying to undermine this, but explain to me the root cause of your problem. Why do you want to undermine it? And 99% of the time, you'll see that it's just
a misunderstanding,
difference
not
in
knowing the facts.
Exactly. And it takes a quick conversation to say, I'm on the same page as you. But if it makes you feel more comfortable, if we approach it this way because it makes you feel included in the plan, then by all means, let's do it that way. And that's the compromise that I'm talking about. As long as folks want what's best for the town, we're always going to be on the same side.
How do you just said it, but how do you really work around a citizen's complaint?
That is an art.
Yeah.
That is an art that you craft amongst, for a long time by dealing with citizens. I own my skills working in public works, right? In public works, you get all sorts of calls. Trash calls, potholes.
And they're usually
drainage.
angry.
Oh, my God. And they don't understand the vast majority of the time how they got to the situation that they got to, right?
Yeah.
So there's a puddle on my road, but I live on a private road.
Yeah.
And the town can't fix private roads. So the goal is not to say no, it's to say, well, this is the option you have. I know it may not be the best option, but this is the best I can do with what I have. If there's anything else that I can do above and beyond, I will do that. But to your point, the vast majority of the times, they just don't understand what the issue is. If you take the time to talk to them like a human being, no matter how upset they are, and explain to the situation and actually the rules under which we're trying to work here, then not only they understand that you're truly doing what you can, but then they understand when you go above and beyond and they're appreciative. So you change the narrative from somebody who's angry at you to somebody who becomes appreciative and understanding of how helpful the town can be to them. It's a lot of education, and it's a lot of conversation, and it's a lot of empathy for people. That's it. That's my approach.
Well, oh my goodness, they're lucky to have you, and you are accessible. I mean, to call you, to email you. I mean, you have your own web site page on the town page.
Yeah.
That's how because I didn't know how to contact you. And, You know, that's another thing. I think, if I remember correctly, when I called to call you, it only says the town manager. It didn't, I don't think it said the assistant.
Well, I'll look into that.
Look into that.
I'll
I
look
know,
into
I'm
that.
not sure, but if it did, I would have called.
No problem. You see?
Yeah.
You just gave me something to look at, and by
Just-
tomorrow I'll figure it out.
I could be wrong.
No, that's
I don't
okay.
know. I don't remember now. I mean, but neither here nor there. Now, I understand you sat on, which is a great education, on union negotiations.
Yes. Yes.
That's fabulous.
It is fabulous. You want to talk about solving problems and meeting with people and trying to meet halfway and figure
Oh,
out
yeah.
the best way to keep the employees happy and give them the things that they deserve, while at the same token not breaking the bank. That's a balance act unlike any other.
Yes, that's godlike.
Correct. And it all starts with trust, right? People have to trust the other person on the other side of the table.
It took many years, though, to get there.
Correct. Correct.
They very low morale for years. And until Derek came along, our town manager now, and people like you, and with the mindset, and it's changed.
But credit to, again, the labor unions, the staff,
Oh, sure.
because you come in new. Even though I had a little bit of history with the town in different capacities, right? The town manager as well. You come in into a different capacity. People have a tendency to say, well, and I've had this happen before, which is hysterical. It's like, well, you're not Silvio anymore. You're the assistant town manager now. And I'm like, no. I'm still Silvio. I'm still
Yeah.
the same person you met before. I'm still the same
See,
person.
you're humble.
Well, it's my job, as I said, is not my identity. I'm who I am, regardless of my job. So I'm not going to let a title or anything like that dictate how I behave with people. And so, but regardless of that, then you have to have opportunities to show folks who you are. And that's how you build trust with them. Because then you're able to say, remember, we went through this and this happened, and I told you I would do it this way, and I promised you I would do it this way. Did I follow up on my word or not? And when they say yes, you say, okay, well, let's build on that. Because now I've given you opportunities to see that when I say something, I mean it. But it takes time. It takes time to build that trust. And as you said, maybe if there was a history in the past of not having trust, it takes a little bit more time. But that's the job. That's what I tell folks all the time. The most important part of my job is not dealing with citizen complaints. It's not like working on the budget with the finance director. It's not working on policies with the different departments. It's literally creating relationships with people so that we can do the things we need to do. It's that simple.
It's not simple. You make it simple.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, but I like what I do. I
Yeah.
honestly do. I honestly do.
I think the employees do trust you and do trust Derek because it was earned. You know, that you have to wait and see, and they saw.
Exactly.
That's why last night I was very happy that the firemen's union stipend got passed. Didn't understand why that one selectman did not vote for it, but he hasn't voted for certain things all along. Neither here nor there. I was happy about that. And because who's the first person you call when you're in trouble? It's either the police or the fire. You don't call the grocer down the street. Those are the guys you call and the women that you call.
Correct.
And they're always there. Doesn't matter if it's 4 a.m.
Correct.
And they were there always for my husband.
I'll give you a little bit of an example on police and fire, because we were talking about specific things that different departments do or staff does that a lot of people don't understand. Everybody respects police and fire. For the most part, I hope people respect police and fires and our first responders and what they do, because as you mentioned, they're the first people we call when we're in trouble. They're the ones who respond without even thinking twice. They're the ones running towards the fire when everybody's running away from the fire. But they make sacrifice in ways that a lot of folks don't understand. This past week, I joined the police and fire department in the July 3rd event that
Oh,
happens in
did you
Manamet.
go?
Yes.
Oh, I bet your eyes were wide
Oh,
open.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because for 6 years or so, I've been hearing about Manamet and the
Yeah.
third. But again, in my other capacities, it's not something that really overlap with me. But been hearing about Manamet for a long time. And I said to the chiefs, it's like, you know what? This year, I would like to attend and see from start to finish as much
What
as
they
I
do.
can, what you do.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. I mean,
and it
that's the word.
starts months ahead of time
Months
with
ahead.
meetings.
But then the day of, all of the prepping that they do, the other communities, the sheriff's department, all of the folks that come
Ambulance.
together, ambulance to help. But again, more importantly, then they turn around and do it the next day on the 4th down at the waterfront. So you have an incredible amount of people who work for the town already putting their lives at risk for our safety.
And putting their families aside.
Exactly. For the 3rd and the 4th.
Yeah.
They don't get to enjoy the 3rd and the 4th like we do, but we get to enjoy it because they are working. And that is phenomenal. That is phenomenal. That's one of the things that people don't think about. Those are the little sacrifices that a lot of people don't think about. But when you're on a family of a firefighter or a family of a police officer, that impacts you. So I have a lot of respect, not only for the fact that they are there for us when we need them, but all of these other sacrifices that people may not be aware of that they do so that we can enjoy the 3rd and the 4th.
You know, years ago on North Street, you know where that is, downtown, and it goes down to the waterfront. Just about down to the bottom of the hill, there was a museum, which is still there today. And a fellow named Rick Cohn would have a barbecue for all the police, fire, and ambulance people that work that day, 4th of July. And it was hot dogs and hamburgers, potato salad, and everything else that went with it.
And God bless
All
them.
free for those workers. And they would come. And they were starving, you know, something to drink, you know, juice or whatever it was, soda, and they loved it.
Yeah, and I got to see that firsthand on the 3rd. I saw the appreciation that some members of the community had for our police officers and our firefighters, because every once in a while, if I was driving around with either the chief or Captain LeBreton, and we go by just to check on all the folks who were doing details and stationed in a specific location.
Were you in a little RV?
I was.
The little
That's the one thing I didn't get to do that I did want to do. Oh my God, they almost put me on it, but I didn't get on.
My
so.
son gave them
That's
whip.
for next time.
My son gave them whips. He makes these that light up. So if they go at night, their little RV can be seen going down the beach.
That's great. Thank you for your son.
No.
But that's great.
I love them.
But as I was saying, so we went to these places, and you saw the vast majority of the officers who were stationed there with a hot dog or a hamburger or a water bottle, and we were just driving by saying, "You need anything? You need a water or a bottle or anything?" And they were like, "No, the people in this house came out and took care of us." So I was just so happy to see that. The appreciation that the community has, it's
they
amazing.
do.
It's amazing. And then similarly, a lot of folks don't think about the DPW and the work they do.
Right.
So the DPW sets up a lot of the drums, a lot of the cones, and the things that the
safety.
the police and fire use to do that. But then on the 5th, they have to come back and they do a lot of cleanup. There's a massive amount of cleanup that needs to be done.
And I heard that it was magnificent what they did.
Unbelievable.
Immediately, right away, gone.
Yep.
Like magic.
Yes. But again, it's just, I want to just let folks know, as somebody, again, who's worked for 5 different communities, comes from the public works world, that is not the norm. We have a very special group of people working here in our DPW, police and fire, in all of our departments. I can't say that enough.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons I like working here, because I like working with my coworkers. Everybody's very dedicated to the community.
I have to have the DPW director on.
You should.
He's been here long enough to get comfortable.
That's right.
So, I wait. I wait till they get comfortable, and then I'll ask him to come on. And I hear he's doing a good job.
He's a great person.
All the roads that were fixed this year.
Mm-hmm.
How many were 30?
They doubled the amount of roads from what we had done last year.
Right.
They doubled the amount of mileage that we've done, which again, coming from the
Yeah,
coming
tell me how much.
coming from the DPW world, that is an immense amount of work that was done. I don't remember exactly the number because he spoke about
It was huge.
It was huge, but I think what he said and the number that's the figure that stuck to my head is that they doubled the amount of roads that
Yeah.
were going to be done in town, which again is an immense endeavor in a town of this size with the amount of roads that we have. And for him and his staff to come in the first year and do that like that, it's again, people have to understand that that's a monumental amount of work that goes into that, and they came in and made it look easy.
Coordination.
And that's a testament to the professionalism of that department and of the leadership in that department.
Well, I love Beaver Dam Road, I'll tell you that. That road,
great.
yeah. There are a lot of great projects coming into Plymouth.
Mm-hmm.
I heard David Gould last night. I love him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love working with David. I love hearing his ideas, and he gets so many grants.
Mm-hmm.
I love the new outlay he's got. I know it was 2018, I think it was. They're going to update it, whatever they're going to do, but the waterfront.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about it.
So, you want to talk about another person who's dedicated and a great department head is David Gould. As you mentioned, brings a lot of funding, gets a lot of projects done, with a calm demeanor, respectful person. Staff loves him and does great work for the town, including, as you mentioned, the work he's done in the Jenny Grist Mill, the work that's being done at the Town Brook, but also now the project that he was talking about yesterday. The town's going to try to use ARPA funds, or is looking to use ARPA funds
Yeah.
to design basically an upgraded walkway down across the street from Tavern on the Wharf in that area.
Yeah.
And I think it was originally, as you mentioned, because I was here for that when I was at the DPW.
I voted for it.
There you go. It's part of like the overall waterfront upgrade.
Promenade.
Promenade. That's right. They wanted to do. So David is basically taking that section by Tavern on the Wharf in that area and basically expanding the walkway, because the walkway there, as he mentioned last night,
It's not
it's
good.
in rough shape.
Yeah.
You have the parking meters, you have a lot of obstructions, the sidewalks uneven, and let's be honest, I mean, the Plymouth waterfront is a jewel. It's one of the jewels of the town. We talk about this all the time internally, that I don't know many towns that have a waterfront like we do, that's so vibrant and people want to come and visit.
About Baltimore is about the only one.
And you're talking about a major city, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is the town of Plymouth. So to see that happening and David taking the lead on that and expanding that is going to be great for the waterfront. And hopefully, maybe it's the first phase of many phases to come to spruce up the waterfront. So kudos to him and his team. Yeah, for doing this.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Because I know it'll improve as he goes along. He's so good at what he does.
Yeah, we're lucky to have him.
Oh, he's another jewel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, people do. I have to have him on too.
There you go. I think he will gladly come and talk about
Yeah.
these projects. I mean, he
Had
does a
him
lot.
on a long time ago, but it's time because of his projects. And the Jenny Grist Mill
Yes.
is coming along. That's been a
Absolutely.
long time coming. That is practically paid for.
Mm-hmm. How about Stevens Field?
Stevens Field.
Stevens Field.
You can now see it from 3A all the way.
Unbelievable. I was talking to him because I specifically asked him for a mini tour of what's going on because it's so exciting to me, Stevens Field. That is a recreational area unlike any other. Again, right by the water.
Who has that?
Exactly. So many amenities, and for years, the town didn't have the ability to do what they did now. And along comes David. He takes the bull by the horns. In that project, by sometime, hopefully in August, we'll be doing a ribbon cutting. We'll be and we'll be showing people the amount of work that went into it and the work that the town of Plymouth is doing for the community. It's going to be amazing.
It is. It's already just looking at it going by. It's like, oh, I can't wait.
For the kids in town, I mean, I wish I had grown up in Plymouth with
Yeah.
all of the things that we have here.
Right.
So for all of the young kids in town, that's going to be a destination for sure.
Yeah. Stevens Field, the grist mill. That's going to be beautiful.
Beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful. My son loves going there. We stand on the bridge, and he keeps saying, gee, this has got to be dug out. Yeah, it's
Well, we're
going to
working on
be.
it.
It's
he's
going to
working
be.
on it.
Yeah.
We're working on it. Absolutely.
The swans and all of that.
It's beautiful.
We
down there.
do
Brewster
live
Gardens, all
Brewster
of it.
Gardens.
All of it's beautiful. Beautiful. This
Are
town
they
is
still
amazing.
getting married under the coat?
Yes.
Yes.
And kids go for their prom pictures, everything.
Yeah.
It's so great. It's so great at Brewster Gardens.
Yeah, I went by, I think, early spring, and there was a bride.
Yeah.
Does Kelly do that now?
So I don't know if she does any of Brewster Gardens, but Kelly uses on the fourth floor at the end of the hallway. A lot of folks don't know, so maybe I'm letting the cat out of the bag, which is good because the town hall is people's building. You go to the fourth floor at the end of the hallway. There is I want to call it a balcony, but it is kind of a balcony deck area.
Oh,
And that's-
outside.
Yeah,
I've
and that's-
been there.
That's
Yeah.
open to the public. A lot of folks get married up there. So the
Wow.
greatest thing in the world is to be in the meeting room or talking to the town manager, and all of a sudden we look out and there's two people getting married with their whole family.
My God.
It's amazing. Again, the things I see on an everyday basis, I can't explain to you.
Oh, my God.
It's great.
I went out there for lunch one day with someone,
Exactly.
and it was just wonderful. You look out and just you see oh, how about the Spire Center?
The Spire Center is beautiful. Beautiful.
Absolutely
The work they did there,
gorgeous.
beautiful. And from Town Hall, we could see as it was progressing, and we were all waiting for the scaffolding to come down, and it was almost like a reveal when the scaffolding
It
came
was
down.
a reveal.
Beautiful, beautiful.
CPC did that.
Exactly, exactly. CPC, again, a great resource to our town, absolutely.
And I'm glad the zoning bylaw is being changed.
Yeah, they're being
Am I saying that right?
I believe so.
Because for buildings that have been abandoned,
Yes. So there's been a discussion on what we would call on the Cape down my way, we would call it blight property. So
Yeah.
that's what I think you're referring to. I think Selectman Canty it's taking the lead on that. If I believe this, we're talking about the same thing.
I think we are.
Yes.
Yeah, because people go by Burt's.
Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Burt's is privately owned by lawyers.
Mm.
They use it as a write-off,
Mm.
Silvio. We tried years ago to buy it, CPC.
Mm-hmm.
We would take it down, put a pavilion, open pavilion there,
Mm-hmm.
picnic tables for families. You know, they could go to the shack up there and get hot dogs and whatever and come back, Sandy's.
Mm-hmm.
But they would never sell. They use it as a write-off.
Interesting.
And it's full of mold. I think the fire chief should go in and inspect it.
Mm.
I'm not sure the structure is good,
Mm-hmm.
but it should be, inspected. I'm sure he has.
Yeah.
I know Ed did, a previous.
Yeah, Mr. Bradley. Yeah.
Yes.
Fire Chief Bradley. Yeah. No, absolutely. We have a great division of inspection, the Department of Inspectional Services, where those folks, along with the fire department, do inspect buildings that could be potentially structural issues. So I'm pretty sure our staff has looked at that, and if there's something that he needs to be updated or taken a second look, I mean, Burt's is a very well-known location, so
Thing
I'm
of it
pretty
is-
sure it's in their radar.
It can't be a restaurant again. It has too many seats to fill, and that's why it failed. Two companies tried to revive it. They couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
The motel next door, the hotel, said something about purchasing it and doing whatever with the land or building a better hotel.
Okay.
But nothing's going on. It's an eyesore.
Yeah, I'm not aware of any plans that the folks next door may have had, but again, this is the town of Plymouth. That is primo real estate. I am sure somebody will
Primo.
yeah, I'm sure somebody will take a look at it and say, let's see if we can do something here. It
Yeah.
just takes the right person at the right time for things to happen.
Yeah. We don't want any more 400 homes or houses, apartments. Benny's is going to be interesting. Benny's Plaza.
Yeah, I know the selectmen, again, we take our cues from them when it comes to economic development, and I feel like you're going to hear a lot of that, and you probably heard it a lot last night, the discussions that were being had about that, so stay tuned on that, absolutely.
Now, you don't have to say anything, but last night I watched, and I was very, very disappointed. I listened to what Charlie had to say about the downtown businesses. And I think to stay fair and equitable, that, first of all, I thought that woman was very combative and disrespectful to the selectmen, that businesswoman. But the selectman Canty, to turn it around and go against and undermine a rule that the selectmen had already made, it's not fair to the rest of the business community. And it's not the first time Selectman Canty has gone against things which make no sense. But that's me. That's my opinion. I know you work toward bringing everybody together. And that's your job, not my job. My job is to point out the inequities of what goes on. And I rather like my job, and I know you love yours.
I do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah, but I know that what do you see to improve the fourth floor or your job? What do you need? Do you think we need another assistant town manager or assistant to you?
Yeah, so that's an excellent question. I mean, at the end of the day, the town manager determines the staff levels for our department. Obviously, we work together on figuring out the needs for the town in general, but also starts with our department. What I will say is this, is the town is a large town. It's evolving, it's transitioning from, the smaller organization or the ways that maybe we were doing things when we were on Lincoln Street to now this bigger town hall, which is a testament of how the town is growing, the responsibilities are growing. So what we're doing and what we're committed to doing is always looking at the staffing levels, the needs of the town, and determining as we go along if there's things that are needed. So for example, I'll use myself as an example. When I worked for the Human Resources Department, it was myself and the benefits coordinator, which is now our HR director, and an administrative assistant. And
It would have to be.
And when I came in there, I said, it's the three of us, and we're handling benefits for close to 600 employees and about 1,000 retirees. 3 people. And I said, okay, well, wait a minute. We got to look at this from a different point of view. We need more help. So we did an assessment internally. We saw the type of work we were doing, the level of work we were doing, the fact that we were as efficient as possible and cross-trained each other, and I could do benefits at some point in time, or I was answering the phone, or the
cross-trained.
Exactly. We were as efficient as we could, and we still couldn't get caught up. And more importantly, it's not only get caught up with the work we were doing, we couldn't come up with new initiatives.
You were too busy doing.
Exactly. So we went to town meeting, got an assistant HR director.
Yeah.
And one of the first things that came out of that is the Halloween event that we had at Town Hall.
Oh, that was wonderful.
We worked with the chamber. The chamber has Halloween on Court Street. And we said, well, we're on Court Street. Can we jump on that And they said, absolutely. And Amy and the folks at the chamber were great and very helpful. And that's one of the things that we brought on because we had the bandwidth to do that because we had an additional staff. And all of the people in town hall and people in other town departments loved it. And the kids loved it.
They're still talking about it. They want it next year too. But let me give you food for thought.
Mm-hmm.
And I bet knowing you this just tonight, you feel the same way. Even though this town is large in miles,
Mm-hmm.
it's actually very small hometown that has that mentality
Mm-hmm.
that they like the hometown feel.
Mm-hmm.
They like family,
Mm-hmm.
church,
Mm-hmm.
the sun, the beach,
Nature.
nature.
Mm-hmm.
And as large as we are, as big as we are, we still hold on to that value.
Mm-hmm.
So that Halloween event that was held at Town Hall meant so much to so many people because I know you and Derek keep saying, this is the people's house.
That's the town manager's phrase, 100%. This is the
Yeah.
people's house.
Yeah.
And that was the underlying thought when we did that, right? But again, the reason we were able to do that is because we had the bandwidth to do it. A couple
Yeah.
of months later, then we had a cookie swap for the employees too.
Oh,
We were able to do things like that now because we had the additional staffing. But that is the goal. We want to make sure that Town Hall is a welcoming place to the community, but also to the staff who works there.
yeah.
And even in the same for all the buildings, every employee has to feel welcome at work when they come to work.
I'm going to tell you, I was sad to see that Christmas tree come down. It just brought so much joy. I would go to a meeting and come out and see that tree, and I would linger coming down the hill because I wanted to take my time to just soak in that ambiance.
Mm-hmm.
I was so sad, when it came down, but it was so beautiful.
It was.
Things like that mean a lot.
Correct. It reflects the values of the community. Like you said, family is very important. Community is very important. And that didn't happen by happenstance either. A lot of folks, it was a committee that came together to work on what we could do for Christmas at Town Hall. And that's how the tree came up. There was bands that were
Steve
playing there.
Lyden,
Exactly.
his committee.
They put lights up in the cupola.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a combination of committees, folks who work from the town, employees.
The town manager saying
Yeah,
yes.
Yes. Again, this is how things get done.
Yeah.
Collaborating as a group because everybody has good ideas. You mix them all together and you come up with the best two.
Yeah. Just beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going up again.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. See, he's not afraid to use the green in front of Town Hall.
Mm-hmm.
And it means a lot.
Mm-hmm. Not afraid to listen to good ideas and try to implement them, even if they're difficult. Because something being difficult should never be an obstacle to get something great done. And that's what I like about him. He's never afraid to say, oh, yeah, that sounds difficult. That's fine, but let's give it a shot. Let's try
about it. Yeah.
And people come together and it happens
Yeah.
because we have a great community here. We come together and we make it work.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's one of the things I love about working here.
Well, I have fallen in love with you, so that's a good thing. What do you think of town meeting? I mean, you go, you're not too familiar yet. Everybody know you yet? Have you spoken at town meeting?
I spoke years ago when I worked at the DPW. I spoke, I believe, the last time around when I was in the Human Resources Department because I had to discuss my assistant HR director request. But I didn't speak at the last one when I was the assistant town manager. I kind of flew under the radar, snuck in, if you will, to this town meeting. But I feel like after this program tonight. I think the cat's out the bag now. I think the cat's out the bag now.
Yeah.
So no, but I don't get to speak a lot at town meeting because my job is to assist. I'm typically folks like to sit in the front. I sit right behind the town manager. I don't like sitting next to him. I like sitting behind him because if he needs something, I'm right there.
Lovely.
Or if I need to say, if he has any questions, he just turns around, or I can just lean up against him and say, oh, this is what's going
How
on with this and that.
respectful.
Absolutely. I said, that's my job. And I have a lot of respect for the office. And that's one of the things that I'm hoping to bring in my capacity to all of the departments, all of the staff in the community in general, is to have respect for the position of the town manager, regardless of the holder, because that position does a lot for the community.
Oh, yeah. Well, he picked a good one with you.
Make sure you tell him that.
He knows already, let me tell you. He was on a couple of months ago, a month and a half. We have a good rapport, too.
That's great.
You know, he's very forthcoming. And I'll say to him, I'm going to be asking a little tough questions. He goes, that's okay. I don't care what you ask me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Comes with the job.
Yeah.
Comes with the job. Nothing we do is easy, but that's why we're doing it. Because if it was easy, it'd be boring.
Yeah. So what time do you get to town hall?
It depends on the day. Sometimes I go straight from my house to a meeting.
Which is an hour away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes I go straight to the town hall. Typically, I'm there anywhere between 7:30 and 8 o'clock. And depending on what the day brings. Sometimes, like I said, I go directly to a meeting in a different building. But for the most part, I'm definitely at town hall between 7:30 and 8 o'clock.
It was like Dickie saying last night. He was at another building all day, 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Then go to a... You know, people don't understand, some people don't understand, it's 24/7.
Absolutely.
They have beepers. I mean, maybe that's the wrong terminology, but it's a 24/7.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Something goes wrong somewhere, you're the first to know. You have to be on call.
Absolutely. The job is 24/7. You're in constant communication with folks when things happen. And believe you me, if somebody's calling or reaching out at 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, in the middle of the night, it's not because something great is going on.
No.
So, but again, that's part of the job. And in my career, what's prepared me for that is having worked in public works. I'm used to that. You get calls at any point in time. For example, there's a tree down that's blocking a road. We need to call somebody to move the tree. Or when you're working snow plowing, I myself had worked snow plowing. So you're used to getting a call and say, okay, well, it's 10 o'clock at night, everybody's asleep, but you got to go in because it's time to plow. So I've been used to the fact that public service is a 24/7 job.
24/7.
24/7.
I just got reminded, this is funny. Years and years ago, you know, PAC TV is a great resource, but years ago we didn't have PAC TV. These meetings were not on TV. Selectmen, nobody.
Mm-hmm.
So they were very free in their speech and what went on. So one night at a selectmen's meeting, this is
going to be good.
89, 90, in there. Guy comes into the selectmen's meeting, gets on the podium, starts to talk, and he's talking about, you know, at that time they gave out dog licenses.
Yeah.
And the guy starts to talk, and he's ranting and raving about something. It's his dog, and this dog is barking, and all of a sudden the chairman of the selectmen looks up, stands up, and he goes, "You're the SOB that called me 3 o'clock this morning."
About a dog license.
Yeah. And, you know, but those things were done because there was no TV.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Now, you know, people are trying to be on their best behavior.
I think that's what we're trying to do right now. I don't know if we're achieving that, but we're trying to behave as best as we can right now.
We're trying to behave.
We're trying to do the best we can.
Well,
here.
we had a wonderful conversation before the show when and You know, when you talk to somebody and you right away you know them, it's like just so blending of personalities or, thought.
It's familiar to you.
It's
So the
very.
conversation's easy because people are familiar to you
Yeah.
and you feel comfortable talking to them. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I understand that feeling.
Well, you're easy to do that with.
Well, thank you.
You know,
I
that's
appreciate
why
that.
I bet, you will succeed greatly in that job.
Well, thank you. I mean, I take any good wishes wherever they come from because, again, my job is very challenging and I can't do it by myself. I do it with the support of the staff and my coworkers, and again, with well wishes from the community and folks as yourself who gave me the opportunity to come here today to, again, express myself, get to show folks what I'm about, and hopefully make them understand that we have an open door policy.
Oh,
Can
you
come to
do.
my office anytime they need something. It doesn't matter what it is. We're always here to help. That's our job, is to help folks.
And the fourth floor, I mean, they're busily working, they're typing,
All the time.
it's a busy floor,
Mm-hmm.
And what do you think of the old courtroom?
Oh my God. I mean, I think to this day, that building is one of the biggest draws to folks. I
Yeah.
remember the first time when I worked at the DPW and the select board meetings were held at the old courthouse.
Yeah.
And I was brought into a select board meeting to be introduced. I was almost in awe the whole time, and I forgot that I even had to speak when I came to the podium because I was just looking at this building and going, wow, this is
Yeah.
marvelous. To this day, I have a lot of folks who come and visit us, and they say, there's no other town hall like this town hall. It is
CPC did
unbelievable.
that.
100%.
You know,
CPC.
And the meals tax.
Yep, the meals tax, CPC, a lot of things went into that.
Yeah.
But it's such a beautiful building. They did such a good job restoring that courthouse. And I love just going over there, having meetings there. Some of our staff has their lunches in some of the meeting rooms there. It's amazing.
It's history.
I was going to say, you feel the history when you're in the building.
I don't know if you ever saw it, went inside when it was a court.
Unfortunately, I didn't.
Well, fortunately you didn't. Kelly has a little bit of the floor left.
Yeah, the checkerboard.
The checkerboard and that. But it was a very depressing place.
Okay.
And a lot happened there, a lot of sadness. But when it was proposed, the meal tax and all of that, the CPC stepped in. And to see it today,
Unbelievable.
and then what they do is the music already, I didn't see that. You have to come back.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
This went by very quickly.
Absolutely did. But
Yeah.
again, thank you for the opportunity. I'm so happy to have been here with you.
Any way I can help you, Silvio, I'm here for you.
Will do. Thank you.
You're welcome. See you in 2 weeks.